Clemson City Council will be enforcing its mask ordinance when crowds come back to Tigertown for game day. In a special called meeting, City Council also came up with a list of strong suggestions they plan to pass along to people renting out parking spaces and lots to fans on game days off campus. And a lot of the talk there revolved around parking and tailgating, something the university is already actively discouraging because of COVID-19.
Fox Carolina's Matt Koufax talked with Clemson's mayor and students to talk about what game days will look like.
Yeah, Tori, Cody, we already know there are going to be a lot less people coming through these gates at Memorial Stadium this year, but Clemson Mayor J.C. Cook tells me it's not so much about them as it is about the potentially thousands of other people that walk around the stadium and downtown on football Saturdays. He says in the name of public health, there may not be a place for them here this year. Clemson Mayor J.C. Cook says it's not the 19,000 fans allowed into Memorial Stadium they're worried about.
We anticipate there will be more than that people that come to town because of just the game day experience.
He says people who drive into town will be expected to adhere to the mask ordinance council passed months ago, but there's also a question of where they'll go if they don't have a ticket.
We have an ordinance that allows people to buy a permit to park cars in their yard during football games.
Tonight, the city allowed for that ordinance to remain unchanged with a set of new suggested guidelines attached. The city says those renting off-campus spaces and those parking in them should limit capacity to 50% to promote social distancing. They also say no large gatherings, plus there will be suggested time restrictions.
I think especially with knowing how expansive normal tailgating is, it would make sense to make sure it's not just immediately surrounding campus.
Clemson seniors Olivia Hanline and Kate Moran agree with what the city is doing, saying social distancing is already hard enough for some of their peers without taking into account those fans who only come into town to tailgate.
I wonder if they'll still come. I honestly don't know.
I hadn't really thought about that. And you also wonder about like the businesses and like how they're going to be able to handle that.
They want them to thrive.
We want the small businesses to be able to pull through, but I didn't think about the massive influx of other people.
Yeah.
And the mayor tells me that city council is going to be closely monitoring that first game this year, saying that if they find out that people fail to adhere to their suggestions, they may turn around and pass stricter laws instead. The message is pretty clear, is that if you don't have a ticket, it may be best to watch the game from home in 2020. In Clemson tonight, Matt Koufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.